Good afternoon. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Eric Chilton, Tim Buckley, and Chad Silver.
You are watching us on air, online, maybe on Fire Stick and Roku. Do any of you have Fire Stick or Roku?
I do not.
I do not either.
Tim?
I have Roku, yes, of
Tim
course.
has Roku.
I knew Tim would.
He knows
He has
the app.
everything.
It's terrific.
Speaking of Tim, weather is one of our big stories today, and it's been pretty nasty out, and there's a chance of some severe storms later on.
Yeah, it's been a weird day, Lauren. So we started the morning with rainfall, then we've actually had good amounts of sunshine in the middle of the day. That's kind of the trick of this, because storms are forming again right now, and they're starting to move across parts of the triad. This is all ahead of a cold front. So you look at our temperature in Greensboro, we're close to 80 degrees right now, but you're starting to see these darker clouds forming here in Greensboro, and looking into High Point, some storms are getting closer to you at the moment. You're sitting at 80 degrees. It's in the 50s in Boone right now. So the front is not that far away, and over the last couple of hours we've started to see different clusters of storms that are forming. The strongest ones I can find right now, they do not have a severe thunderstorm warning, but there's plenty of rainfall and lots of lightning here. This is in Davidson County. So there's Lexington just crossing Highway 64 here. A bit of a downpour. There has been a little bit of tiny rotation in these storms too. So nothing super strong at the moment, but we'll want to keep an eye on this to see if they can become strong. There is that low tornado risk through about 9 to 10 o'clock tonight that we'll keep an eye on for you. Up to Surrey County we go. This is the cold front right here. That's the front that's already pushed through Wilkes County, already pushed through Allegheny as well. Surrey, you are up next. You can plan on your temperature to drop about 10 degrees over the next hour. That's the front right there, this back edge, that last line of showers and storms, and you can see it on the temperature map. Still very warm and muggy, but take a look here. 50s in the North Carolina mountains. Galax, Virginia reporting snow. That is not right. That is definitely wrong. An error up on that automated station. But here's Futurecast. This is around 7 o'clock tonight. By 8 and 9 o'clock, we're seeing this push through much of the triad. And then by 10 and 11, we are done with the storms later on this evening. They're trending a little faster than it looked like yesterday. Look how the temperatures behave too. We'll get well down into the 60s by midnight, and we should be well into the 50s by the time you're waking up tomorrow morning. So it's a totally different world tomorrow. Cool and crisp in the morning and a pleasant afternoon with a high of 72.
As of right now, the High Point Rockers say they're playing ball tonight, but just looking at Tim's forecast, it ain't happening. They're calling it vaccination night at Truist Point. A vaccination card can get you a free outfield box seat ticket. The Rockers host the Lancaster Barnstormers at 7:05. Weather postponed yesterday's game. If you had tickets to yesterday's game, you can redeem them at any regular season game. You'll want our smartphone app handy tonight. You can customize it to alert you of severe weather, and you can check the radar right down to your neighborhood.
It seems like in the past month we've heard about more and more school threats than we're used to hearing about. Today we added security, as added security was needed at Hugh M. Cummings High School in Burlington because of a threat made on social media. Burlington Police Department says they had no reason to believe the threat is credible. It's not the first threat we've reported on this week. Just yesterday, High Point Police announced 18-year-old Kayshawn Williams was arrested for making threats towards 5 schools. We spoke with High Point Police Lieutenant Truitt about this rise in online threats. He says law enforcement needs to take each threat seriously, no matter what.
Well, what we have to do on the law enforcement side is we have to look at each one of these as being a real threat and credible. That is important to take every single threat as credible and as serious as possible, and let the investigative steps work themselves out. And we pray that we catch these in time each time.
These threats continue to pour in, and it's a reminder that if you see something, say something. Authorities want you to report anything you see suspicious online immediately, and don't repost anything that could spark fear or rumors. An 18-year-old man was shot and killed last night in Mount Airy. Officers responded to North Main Street for a security check when they found John Flores Martinez lying in the road. Mount Airy police are still investigating. If you have any information, call the police department.
I want to show you some encouraging data in one of our state's coronavirus metrics. This graph shows the number of North Carolinians in the hospital with the virus. You can see that our numbers have been leveling off, which is a welcome sign. Now I want to show you this graph in a different way. I highlighted the days in red that have gone up from the previous day. Now, since the end of July, we saw some alarming increases here. Outside of the fact that every day was higher than the last, some days increased as much as 150 patients in a 24-hour time span. It's been encouraging to see fewer days in the red over the past couple of weeks. New at 4, 2 High Point Central football games are postponed because of coronavirus cases there. Central's game against Eastern Guilford, set for this Friday, will now be played on Tuesday, October 5th. Its game versus Northeast Guilford, set for September 30th, is rescheduled for Tuesday, October 12th.
President Biden announced today the U.S. is doubling purchases of Pfizer's COVID vaccine to share with other nations. The president set a goal to have 70% of the global population vaccinated against COVID within the next year. 500 million additional doses raises the U.S. vaccination commitment to more than 1.1 billion doses through 2022. About 160 million shots supplied by the U.S. have already been distributed to more than 100 countries, making up more donations than the rest of the world combined. President Biden says for every shot given in the U.S., 3 are pledged around the world.
Thousands of Haitian migrants camped at the U.S. border in Texas have now been released into the United States. Many received what are called notices to appear at an immigration office within 60 days. Federal agencies have worked to get migrants on flights back to Haiti, but some are now being processed under immigration laws here instead. Starting today, 7 daily flights are returning migrants to Haiti.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security plans to investigate video the department deems is extremely troubling. We're not going to show you the video, but this is a snapshot of the Border Patrol agents on horses patrolling migrants. Our Verified team digs into whether the video is real and the explanation behind the patrol procedures.
With Verify, you see our sources to know what's real. A viewer asked us about this picture on social media. It shows a Border Patrol agent on horseback grabbing a man. Some online posts claim the agent used a whip. Tom in Austin asked, is this photograph accurate and real? Thousands of Haitian migrants crossed the Texas-Mexico border in Del Rio. They want asylum. Federal and state governments brought in extra law enforcement, and that includes Border Patrol's Horse Patrol. So we use 6 sources for this story. Border Patrol describes its Horse Patrol as a program for where things like vehicles or 4x4s can't go.
The idea was they wanted to clear out the boat ramp because that ramp had started to become the new two-way crossing.
This picture is from AFP. It's an international news agency. Their story about the photo shows many of the Haitians were crossing the river back and forth to get food for their families and were blocked by the horses. And some migrants started running to try to get around the horsemen, and one of the agents grabbed the Haitian in the picture by the shirt, and he ended up swinging him around while the horse trotted in a circle. The photographer said he did not think the man had been hurt. The White House wants answers.
We just saw this footage. It's horrible to watch. I just have to get more information. I can't imagine what context would make that appropriate, but I don't have additional details.
That footage mentioned comes from Reuters, another news agency. You can see Border Patrol agents swinging the reins by the side of the horse.
They don't have whips and they have reins, but the reins, they have to keep them moving, both as a deterrence to keep people away from the horse, because if they get too close to the horse, they might spook it and they get stepped on or trampled, but also as a means to prevent people from grabbing onto the reins. Now, there's nobody there was trying to grab the reins, but it's a thing they constantly do because they have to maintain control of the reins and the horse.
The Department of Homeland Security posted this on Twitter, calling it extremely troubling. They called in their Office of Inspector General. So to answer Tom, true, this photo is real, but the actions behind the photo are still under investigation.
Hey, tonight's Powerball jackpot is the 10th largest in the game's history. It's now up to $490 million. Our state has had 5 Powerball jackpot winners in the game's history. A single winner would choose either a $490 million annuity or a lump sum of $355 million. I'm going to step on my soapbox here for a moment.
Oh boy.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
You ready?
I hate that we do these stories so often that we get all these people's hopes up that they're going to win. You're not going to win.
You don't know that.
You don't know that.
You don't know that. Why are you killing dreams?
I mean, the odds are like 16 million to 1.
No, it's worse than that.
Is it?
It's like 272 million to 1.
200? Is it really?
It's ridiculous.
I think people know that they have a slim shot of winning this, but it just feels good to think, you know what, I could wake up as a millionaire tomorrow.
I'm thinking about all the people who have gambling addictions, and all we're doing is spreading this.
Well, what
that
about
they could potentially win?
And if your money is tight, that's the last thing you should be buying. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well,
I didn't know.
That's just my 2 cents.
I didn't know we were here with the party poopers. Goodness
know.
gracious. I could personally use $390 million. I don't know about you guys.
I
so
could
I
too.
think I'm gonna roll the dice.
You never heard the words "I'm not buying a ticket" come out of my mouth. I just said what we should do.
If you win, Jalen,
nothing.
I will pay you $10 if you win. But you're not going to win.
I'm gonna let you keep your 10.
No one watching this show
You know
right
what,
now
Chad?
is
It's
going
fine.
to win.
So
Okay,
when
and
I
then watch
win,
someone in Greensboro
when I win,
I hope somebody
Salem.
wins.
I want to make sure everybody gets some, but you, Chad.
I will eat my words if it happens, but not one person watching this show will win the jackpot.
That's fine. I can't wait till Monday.
Why are
I
you
can't
like
wait
that?
till Monday.
You know what? I'm calling the lottery commission. They're going to come here and receive their check on the show live.
You know, and I would love that. I would love to be part of the spectacle. I would love it.
What would your face look like? That's
It
what
would
I
look-
want to know.
I don't know.
If the winner comes in, they got a big old check
Check.
for $390 million.
It's going to be bright red. I
Yeah,
will
you're
have
gonna
a
be
bright red
sick.
face.
You're gonna be sick.
But you know what? It's not going to happen, so I'm not worried about it.
I hope it happens now.
That's just fine.
I hope it happens too. I agree with you. It just won't. Sorry.
No fun.
Boo.
Really, everybody boo Chad. Boo
Great.
Chad. Boo this man.
Let's go to let's go to commercial break or something.
You are.
This is great.
You know where you're at? He can give money away to the jackpot. Well, y'all gonna be sick.
Oh, Jalen may want your attention.
Yo,
You're in the V home series.
I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you before. You was talking.
Talk about turning things around. A North Carolina A&T alum was laid off during the pandemic last year.
Today, he told WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey he's chasing his dream with his new wine collection.
Like for many of us, 2020 was a year filled with adversity for Denzel Fleming. But like many of you at home, he found a way to make it to succeed. Now, Denzel is mixing his two favorite things, wine and music, and he's sharing them with the world.
This whole project is a happiness project for me. I call it Project Dopamine, but it's more so, or the AKA of it is something to hold you until I can be able to get to you in person and tell you I appreciate you and I love you and that I support you as much as you support me.
What's a better name than for his muscadine table wine than something to hold you?
But in the middle of it is the QR code that people can scan and to take them to my website, nonotwashington.com, where people can learn more about me, being a multidisciplinary artist, how I've come to be, and also some of my favorite things. So there's an influence playlist. So there's a playlist, they scan the QR code, press the playlist, and get everybody jamming.
Denzel partnered with North Carolina's own Duplin Vineyards to help turn his dream into a reality. And that playlist on the front of the bottle is made up of his two favorite genres, a great mix of R&B and neo soul. If you'd like to support Denzel and something to hold you, I'll attach a link to the website on my web store in WFMY-News2.com.
That is very cool.
I want to try that wine.
I do. I like muscadine wine.
I love muscadine. Where's Sheila in the newsroom,
Yes,
Lauren? She's
Sheila
got
loves
grapes.
muscadine. She's always eating those. This is so cool to me, like with technology, because on drinks, you get like the dad jokes or maybe like a trivia fact, but now with this QR code, you can listen to music. I think that's pretty cool.
And I'm sure it's curated to the type of wine, and so it pairs together. Usually you have a pairing of food or cheese or something with the wine, but the music, that's a nice
you
touch.
can just rock to it when you sip on your wine, eat your
Hey,
cheese.
music and wine go together.
Go together, great.
Great pairing.
Absolutely. And such a great story too, that he was laid off during the pandemic and just kind of turned it around. You just need a little bit of inspiration and find something that you're both good at, but also something that inspires you, and look at him now.
Absolutely right, Chad. It's just a great comeback story. It was a story that many people can relate to because there were unfortunately millions of people that were laid off last year, and there were millions and more people that came up with an idea and found a way to sustain themselves and their family without that job, and it's just another great example.
It's a good partnership for him too. Duplin Winery is huge down east. A lot of people see that when you're driving toward the coast. It's a big old complex, so that's not a bad entity to be paired up with.
Well, wish him the best of luck. I'm very much impressed. Very cool product here.
Absolutely. We'll be right back.
Cool if I could read.
If you're like me, then pickles are way up on your favorite snack list. My wife says I have a problem, and I have no counter argument. Wish I did. There's a brand out there that I love, and I didn't find out until recently they were made in the Triad right in Greensboro. Cukes is what it's called. We've heard that term for cucumbers before. It's an incredible pickle. Owner and creator Lindsay Bisbee says that it all started like most food entrepreneurs with friends raving over the recipe.
We actually had a family friend that called me every week so I would make him more, like huge jars of them. I would deliver to him every week. So he really fell in love with them, passed them around to some of his friends, and it just sort of took off from there. The first year that I launched Cukes, I think we were in approximately 20 stores. We're going on year 5 now, into year 6, and we're in about 500 to 600 stores.
Bisbee said it was her first job actually that helped her in making this unique pickle, an unusual combination of science and cooking.
In my former career, I worked in an environmental lab, and I was a microbiologist. And we tested food, water, indoor air, and I learned a lot about the different things that were in the products we were putting in our bodies. And so when I started making food and creating different recipes, I kept that in mind so that I wasn't putting that, in the food that we were eating in our home. And working with different recipes and then playing with some fermentation recipes, I developed Cukes, which is, our deli line of pickles. And we developed sort of a half sour, semi-fermented product that gives you sort of a dual health benefit of a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of probiotic.
Yeah, she does a lot of natural stuff. I went out and got some, brought them in so everybody could try when they were munching over here just a moment ago.
They're good.
It's kind of a natural thing, right? It's not. It tastes different, but I love those.
It has a nice little kick to it. Like I tried the spicy one. I had to walk over and cough for a little bit, but it just tastes fresh. It was crisp. It was light. Really good product here.
I like the name too, and I like that you got to put the little line over the double
2 O's,
right?
And I'm not much of a pickle guy, but this one, not bad at all.
Yeah, there are 3 varieties: are regular dill, then spicy, and then sweet and spicy chips. So we were trying all that. Yeah, I brought them in. It's because I have them in my house. All right, so I asked you on Facebook to tell me the best dish that you make that maybe keep people coming back for it here. And Colin said hot pepper jam, also the name of my newest album. I like that. Linda Penley says, Purdue says it is her chili. Simple as that. Catherine Brown Young said good old cucumber salad that she makes. Nicole says, used to make cornbread salad, but lost the recipe in a move several years ago. She goes, I was so sad because it was delicious, but now it's just my special K-bars. Donna says homemade spicy hot barbecue, also banana pudding for dessert. That sounds good. And Michael says beef jerky. Can't go wrong with that. That's all good stuff. And you never know, we might have our next person that launches into all these stores.
Is there anything that anybody here makes?
That's exactly about to ask. Lauren, go ahead, Chef Lauren.
I make really good s'mores.
Wow, okay.
Really good s'mores. No, when I was in college, like people would text me and be like, s'mores tonight, and they would want to study at my apartment because I made really good s'mores.
Are they the traditional ingredients or do they have a twist?
They're just traditional. You put them in the oven, but I think I just melt the chocolate in the marshmallow to perfection.
Hey, you know who could sell their product? Jalen. Who do I'm always buying this product from Kevin Kennedy.
Yep, beef jerky.
His beef jerky is crazy good.
I don't even like beef jerky, but I like his. I'm not gonna lie.
I haven't tried it.
I make a guac that's to die for. Or so the people say. I get 5 stars out of 5 stars usually.
Is it to die for or people have died from?
You walked into that one.
That was perfect. That's a softball.
Is that for the lottery comment earlier?
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly
that's right.
Yep.
Chilton, what about you? Anything? You make anything?
Not necessarily me. Well, there is a 5-layer dip my wife makes, not me, that I think she could do something with. She's taken the traditional 5-layer and just kind of changed it a little bit, made it spicier. I love that.
Yeah. My parents make pickles out of cucumbers they grow, so
nice.
Very good. Passed down generations. I'll be next.
You gonna bring some for us to sample?
Or it
No,
might
I
skip
won't
you.
be doing that.
Christmas present?
Okay, maybe.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Hold you to it.
Tracking the skies, tracking the radar today, all because of a storm threat. We've been talking about it. There is that low chance of severe storms over the next couple of hours. And look at the change here in Greensboro. Just over the last 30 minutes, we've gone from sunshine to dark clouds. Temperatures still warm at the moment. High Point having a bit of a rain shower and even a thunderstorm right now. There's not much wind with it in High Point, but I want to show you the radar. A couple of things have changed. We have a few different lines. This is the actual cold front itself back here. And then over here, we have a leading edge of storms that seems to me to be the most strong at the moment. Lexington, it's east of you, so you don't have to worry about this, but plenty of thunder and lightning right along the Davidson County and Randolph County line, right along US 64, right along I-85, right near Thomasville. Very heavy rain. This is the kind of blinding rainfall if you're stuck on the highway at the moment, and it does extend up to High Point, as we said. No thunder, lightning super close to you at the moment. Downtown Greensboro, same thing. Heavy rain is starting, but not really looking at lightning strikes, at least not yet, but that could change any minute, so we're going to watch that very carefully. Now, farther back to the west, as I said, this is your cold front. Actually, I'm going to step off real quickly just to zoom into this brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This might take a second, guys. So here's your severe thunderstorm warning right here along the Virginia border. We're looking just there in Stokes County and Patrick County, Virginia. It's moving north, and I think what they're looking at is this little area has some rotation. So they are saying there's a tornado possible in that. It's not a tornado warning, but it is a tornado possible. So we're going to follow that into the Virginia counties over the next couple of hours. The cold front is right here. It'll be through the Triad in the next few hours. We'll have the latest live radar in just a few minutes.
When you struggle to change your way of thinking, you end up with the same results. In today's U-Day segment, Coach Lamont teaches us if we can open our minds to new possibilities, we can unlock our full potential.
One day I misplaced my keys. I looked everywhere. Well, I looked everywhere except the place where my keys were held, the couch. I eventually found them, but I gained a revelation about the meaning of faith that day. As I searched for my keys, I had no clue where they were, but my couch knew. What was invisible to me was visible to my couch. Just because I could not see them, it didn't mean that my keys didn't exist. They were invisible to me. They were visible in the place where they were being held. What you cannot see, faith sees for you. And faith is used to unlock the unseen, making it visible in your scene. Faith is the bridge, the driver connecting what you see here to what you intend to manifest out here. So use faith to unlock the life you desire most so that you can become the best version of you. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U-Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Lauren Coleman, Chad Silber, and Tim Buckley.
Welcome back, whether you're watching on air, online, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMY News 2 app.
That's right. Lots to get to today. The weather is the big story today.
Big story here. 3 parks in Mount Airy are closed because of flooding. Overnight rains made a mess at Riverside, Therington, and Roe parks.
Sidewalks, athletic courts, and fields are covered in mud or simply underwater. Mud even covered the floor of a bathroom there. Part of Granite City Greenway is also closed because of flooding.
And the rain let up some this afternoon, but Tim, it's on its way back.
Yeah, even in just the last hour, it's really cranking back up in several spots. So I have a lot of different showers and storms I want to show to you on radar right now. And this is probably just going to be the next few hours. I think by 8 or 9 o'clock, we're looking much better. Reason is, you're already looking at the cold front on the left-hand side of your screen. That last line, that's the front right here. Right now, I want to zoom in. This is brand new. I showed it to you live just a minute or so ago, but this is severe thunderstorm warning. Hardly any longer for Stokes County. It's mostly for Patrick County, Virginia now. This part of the storm is spinning, but it's not spinning enough to create a tornado warning. So what the Weather Service is doing is they're saying, we're watching this really closely, and they might have to issue a tornado warning if it gets stronger. If they did, it would be for Patrick County, Virginia, right north of that Stokes County line and kind of passing up toward Route 8. That would be within the next, let's say, 10 minutes or so. So in that area, I'd be on the safe side, just kind of hunker down. Let's take you to that other line of storms. It's pretty potent here, from High Point down through Thomasville and down into the Denton area. You just got through it, but it's straddling that Randolph-Davidson County line at the moment. All of these are moving northeast today. So the movement is just like this, kind of parallel the highways as you were looking in Guilford County. Plenty of heavy rain right now from Kernersville to Colfax over by the farmers market and the airport. And downtown, we are seeing heavy rainfall, possible at any time that we could start to see some lightning strikes as well. Haven't seen that yet in Greensboro, but I think that's kind of soon to come here. The front has already moved through Wilkes County. There it is, pushing into Stokes County, or I should say Surrey County, Yadkin, and Iredell. It's going to be moving toward the Triad closer to that 7, 8, and 9 o'clock hour. Take a look at the temperatures in the 50s in the mountains, still around 80 degrees in the Triad. That's going to change. That front is going to mean business. I think by 7 and 8 o'clock, we are saying goodbye to most of the rainfall. And look at this. There are your low temperatures tonight. Haven't seen this in a long time. Cool, crisp air coming in, and it's going to stick around for a while too.
Know when you need your umbrella handy. Just download the free WFMY News 2 app to get alerts sent right to your phone so you can stay weather prepared.
The search is growing today for Brian Laundrie after confirming the remains found are that of his fiancée, Gabby Petito.
An autopsy determined the manner of death was homicide. The exact cause of death is pending.
Search teams are combing through this Florida swampland looking for Brian Laundrie, possibly the last person to have seen 22-year-old Gabby Petito alive.
It's rough out there. Yeah, it's rough out there. It's hot. It's wet.
Lurking in the challenging terrain, alligators, snakes, and police hope Laundrie.
These guys are law enforcement partners. They're motivated and they're hungry to find Brian Laundrie.
Laundrie and Petito documented their dream cross-country trip on social media, but a dispute witnessed by a passerby in Utah last month flagged police.
Sorry, we've just been fighting this morning. Some personal issues.
Police questioned the couple about physical violence. Neither wanted to press charges.
I'm fine, and I look at it. I hope she doesn't have too many complaints about me.
Laundrie returned to the family home here in Northport, Florida on September 1st alone. He refused to speak with police before he vanished last week.
This is as serious as it gets.
Laundrie has not been named a suspect in his fiancee's homicide, but former U.S. Attorney John Huber says prosecutors are likely already working with police to determine if and when charges may be filed.
If there's evidence as to what happened here and who did it, certainly charges can issue if they believe they have evidence beyond a reasonable doubt.
A spokesperson for Gabby Petito's family confirmed the investigation team in Wyoming left a cross of stones near where her body was found. Aduria Chumba, CBS News, Northport, Florida.
The federal government is facing a shutdown if they can't agree on a spending bill by the end of the month. The House and Senate are gridlocked over a spending package to keep the government funded through the remainder of the year. Another financial issue Congress needs to tackle, suspending the federal debt limit. The House passed a funding and debt measure last night, but Senate Republicans say they won't support the bill. The approved measure would provide the stopgap money to fund the government through December 3rd and extend borrowing authority through the end of 2022.
There are 2 local job fairs tomorrow. From 10 to 2, 20 businesses will be at the Haynes Mall Job Fair in Winston-Salem. Employers are hoping to fill more than 600 positions. Employers include Ashley Furniture, Forsyth County Government, Tyson Foods, and Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. FedEx is hosting its National Hiring Day to hire more than 2,000 team members in Greensboro. It's from 11 to 5 at the FedEx Ground Greensboro location in Kernersville. We've got more information on both on WFMYnews2.com.
A new study shows more young people feel anxious about climate change. Researchers in Britain say climate change is not only a threat to our lives, but a threat to our mental health. CBS News' Ian Lee digs deeper into this study.
The signs of climate change are all around, from fierce wildfires raging to freak floods killing dozens across Europe as well as the United States. And they aren't going unnoticed.
It's quite worrying, and it makes me think about our future, and it's definitely not a place that I want my kids to live in.
A new UK study asked 10,000 young adults from 10 countries how they feel about climate change.
The children started telling us that they were feeling betrayed and abandoned, and they felt that governments were lying about the effectiveness of the action they were taking to address the climate emergency.
Researchers from Bath University say 84% of people surveyed, aged 16 to 25, are at least somewhat worried about climate change. Nearly 60% say they are very or extremely worried about the climate crisis. 75% say the future is frightening.
That's the most scary bit, really, what's going to happen in future generations down the line.
And it's not just mankind they're worried about.
You don't want them to be left in a world where there's no animals that they can look at, or there's no beautiful things in the world that they can see.
Researchers say the only cure for climate anxiety is governments around the world taking real action to protect the environment.
The climate anxiety study found that 4 in 10 younger people around the world are hesitant to have children as a result of the climate crisis.
McDonald's says it plans to phase out its plastic Happy Meal toys by 2025. The company sells more than 1 billion toys each year and intends to reduce its use of plastic by 90%. Toys will be made from more renewable, recycled, or certified materials like bio-based and plant-derived materials and certain fiber. The fast food chain says it's working with toy companies to develop ideas like 3-dimensional cardboard superheroes kids can build on their own. McDonald's is also looking at the possibility of using recycled plastic toys to make new restaurant trays. The change is already in place in the UK and Ireland, where McDonald's only sells soft toys or books in Happy Meals.
Salem Academy and College in Winston-Salem is the oldest school in North Carolina and the oldest school for girls and women in the country. And this week, they are getting ready to celebrate a big milestone. The school's 250th anniversary celebration will kick off this Saturday with a series of events. An Evening for Salem is a 1-hour performance by the Winston-Salem Symphony. The program will feature a composition by Margaret Sandresky. Sandresky, a beloved alumna and retired professor of music, is also celebrating her 100th birthday. Organizers say she was 99 when she composed the piece.
Her father, Charles Bardell, was our second dean of the School of Music. And then a number of years later, she married Clemens Sandresky, who was the third dean of the School of Music at Salem. So she's got a very rich and long history with Salem College, and she also attended Salem Academy. So we're super proud of her and so excited to be able to have her present at the concert and be able to feature her music.
Founded in 1772, the first teachers at Salem College traveled by foot from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania to North Carolina. As a part of the anniversary celebration, hundreds of alum will reenact the historic 500-mile journey. Participants will travel by foot for 29 days, September 28th through October 26th.
Now, they stayed out under the open sky and in barns. We're going to stay in hotels and have sheets and showers for ourselves and modern day walking shoes. But we are going to still trace those steps and honor that journey of courage and vision and persistence that we think are qualities that Salem women have today.
Several events will take place over the next 12 months. For details, just look for this story on our website. So a lot of rich history here. Prior to doing this story, I did not know that this was the oldest college in North Carolina.
It's true. Most people will think of UNC Chapel Hill, of 1789, and these guys were 1772. The history in Old Salem, as a whole, is just gigantic. I mean, they were literally two cities, Salem and Winston, that came together to form the city we know today. Walking 500 miles, by the way.
Okay, so I'll clarify that a little bit. So there's going to be 4 women that are actually going to do the full 500 miles.
So they split it.
They're going to do the full. There's 4 that are actually going to
Okay.
do like the 500 miles, and then the hundreds of others that are participating. It's about 400 people. They're going to break it up into legs, whether that's over a couple days or maybe a week or 2.
The 4 people. We got to do a follow-up interview with the 4 people that do that.
That's pretty awesome.
That's
a
amazing.
unique way to celebrate this anniversary.
Very cool. All right, we're going to take a break in just a minute. We're going to be talking about a festival, speaking of Winston-Salem, in Winston-Salem that combines sports and entertainment in a 3-day festival. It's very cool. We'll have
forward
that
to
coming
that.
up. Yeah. You know, there's a huge festival all weekend in Winston-Salem that honestly may have you scratching your head, but in a good way. It's called Gears and Guitars. It's an unusual combination of cycling and concerts. I spoke with the festival director, Ray Bowden, about how this event has evolved.
We started a cycling event here in Winston-Salem, a professional cycling event that consisted of professional cycling in downtown Winston-Salem, and we added concerts at the end of each night. As time went by and the race evolved, when we had more days of concerts and more days of cycling, we decided to combine the events into one larger event. This is the Gears Guitars and the Winston-Salem Cycling Classic event that runs concurrent with each other. The cycling side and the music side go hand in hand, and they've morphed into a very big and important event here in downtown Winston-Salem.
The festival pre-pandemic would draw in nearly 16,000 people, and it's one of the biggest in the area. It's safe to say that there's probably nothing like this in the state or maybe even across the South.
It's very unique. There's a concert with major bands playing in Bailey Park while world-class professional cyclists are racing around the perimeter of the concert area. It's pretty unique. I don't know of another event that's very similar to it, on at least in scale for sure. We have some pretty large artists that play the event, and then we have cyclists that are racing around Grammy Award winners who have raced in the Tour de France before. So it's very high level of sports and entertainment.
Yeah, so it's amazing that you can, now you have to pay to get into the concert part, but anybody can go watch the cyclists for free. But if you get in there, then the cyclists are literally going by you while you're having food and watching the concert. Very neat. And you know, some of the names they get, Government Mule, the Smithereens, Grace Potters, they get some decent names. And I think he was wearing a t-shirt that was better than Ezra. I think that was a guest one year too as well.
I think it would be hard to be a cyclist because you'd want to stop and listen to the music, right? But you're just flying by.
Or the music might get you pumping,
That's
get
true.
you going.
That's true, yeah.
But it's bands all day, every day, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is 3 full days of this.
Wow.
Very neat. I've never seen this before.
And so have you gone to, I mean, do you know much about it outside of what you learned today?
Just the images that he sent over, and I looked at this. I mean, I can't believe I haven't gone. It looks fabulous. And it's at Bailey Park in downtown Winston-Salem, which is a beautiful view of the whole area. So I think there's no way you can go wrong with this. And the food trucks and the vendors, all that's there.
And it sounds like the weather is going to be
perfect this weekend.
Perfect.
We have somebody who can tell us about that.
You?
In a moment. It's not me this time. I'm taking a break, just like we are. We'll be right back.
I like that. That was good. The Carolina Theater of Greensboro revealed its annual holiday movie lineup, and it looks pretty good. They include National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, The Polar Express, Home Alone, and everybody's favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard. Tickets are just $7. It's buy one, get one free if you're an essential worker. Movies start at the end of November. Remember, the Carolina Theater requires proof of vaccination or a negative test within 72 hours of the event. You also need to wear a mask because of the countywide mandate.
All right, so this is one of my favorite events of the year because I love seeing Christmas Vacation on the big screen again. Love it. And I like all the holiday movies. Polar Express is really good.
I still haven't seen that one.
Oh, but you got to see
But
that.
I've seen Home Alone like 1,000 times.
Yeah, I saw
that's a
Polar
classic.
Express. I was the same as you. I saw it for the first time last Christmas season, and I watched it twice because it was so good.
Tom Hanks does so many different voices, and it's just
really?
Oh yeah, he's the guy on top of the train. He's Santa. He's lots of things.
Oh, he's so talented.
He is.
Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Gotta think about that.
So Christmas Vacation is up there. It's in my top 5. I have Sentimental Tide of White Christmas because my family used to watch that every year together.
Okay.
But It's a Wonderful Life is my number 1.
I like Home Alone. This Christmas was pretty good with Chris Brown. I don't know if you've seen that. I like the soundtrack to that movie a lot.
My absolute number 1 favorite is Elf.
Oh,
it's
I didn't
great.
even think of that.
Good.
He's hilarious.
That's a good one.
All right, time for Tim. Tim, what's your favorite movie?
Tim time.
Christmas Story, but it's too early to talk about Christmas. That's my grumpy opinion, isn't that right? Hey, I want to show you the weather right now. There are several thunderstorms moving across the area. In fact, one of them still has a severe thunderstorm warning. It's just north of the Virginia border, so we're looking into Patrick Springs, Virginia, right in Patrick County. There was rotation with this one. Doesn't appear to be that anymore, but you still could find some damaging wind gusts. Plenty of rain in Surrey County, also in Yadkin County. This is the cold front right here. It's moving through. You're dropping into the 60s as we speak. Still warm and muggy in the Piedmont counties. We're looking at Randolph. Lots of lightning moving right into Randleman, level cross those areas. Guilford, not as much thunder and lightning, but plenty of heavy rain. We're seeing it over High Point and Thomasville, or also Jamestown, I meant to say. Also near PTI Airport and just on the north side from Lake Jeanette over to Highway 150. You are getting a lot of rain. A little lighter downtown, but that should pick up in the next few minutes. Take a look. That's the front. 64 in Mount Airy, 56 in Galax, Virginia. We are still hanging on to 80 degrees, but that's not going to last too much longer as these showers and storms push through basically through the 8 and 9 o'clock hour. That'll be it. And then tonight we're left with this. Look at those lows, everybody. Down into the 50s we go. It's already cleared out up in Boone, North Carolina. They're sitting at 54 degrees right now. There are your temperatures the rest of the week. Easy forecast. Lots of sun, cool mornings, and warm afternoons. That's your 4 to 5.
His family confirmed the investigation team in Wyoming left the cross of stones.
Hey there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sorry, I'm eating a pickle. Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island.
Hey, hey. How you doing? Good. How are you doing, sir? Hi there. I'm here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Doing his mic check with the full mouth threw me off. Oh, mic check, 1, 2, 3, mic check.
Isn't she the cutest?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's time for my 2 cents. I've always enjoyed a little competition. Whether it's participating in sports games or a talent event, I'm up for it. Recently, I participated in my first fitness challenge. The challenge consisted of a 2,000-meter row, 300 reps on the weight floor, and a 5K on the treadmill. It's intense. I was encouraged by my coworkers/gym buddies Luke Liddon and Monique Robinson to sign up. As much as I love to compete, I was very nervous. The night before the event, I started to doubt myself, and I kept saying, what in the world did I get myself into? Did I have what it would take to complete the task? When the time finally arrived, I told myself, my goal today is to finish, not to worry about what anyone else is doing, and to go at my own pace. And that's what I did. In the end, I didn't get bronze, silver, or gold, but that didn't matter to me because I was competing against myself, pushing myself to do things I never thought I could do. And that's something to be proud of. I share this to say it's important to try new things often. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. This is how you grow and continue to build confidence. Always remember, you're stronger than you think. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
We got a break, but rain is coming down again across the triad, and this time with a chance of storms.
Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley is